Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. So glad you're here. Now today we're going to work with the bold color mixed numbers and the bold numbers. And these are better press plates and cutting dies from Spellbinders. And I've got 4 of the inks from Spellbinders. I've got 2 of the blue ones and then 2 of the brown ones. And I'm going to bring in, I'm just using a piece of watercolor paper because I'm all out of my cotton paper. And I'm going to use 4 of the numbers here. I'm going to do 1939, and I'm going to put them on there backwards at first, and then I'll realize that I need to change them. But I am creating my dad's 85th birthday card, and so I'm going to use these numbers to do that and get it ready. So I'm going to bring in my better press, and this is where I realize that if I lay them on there like that, they're going to be backwards. And I'm not laying them, in the typical up and down way. I'm going to kind of turn them around and make them more interesting looking. So I've realized that if I want the 1 to be first, I'm going to have to flip it and then put my 9 over there and then flip my other 9 and my 3. And I'm going to get them arranged on there the way I want them. I'm just going to turn it just to add some interest to it and just kind of make it a little bit more interesting there. Now I'm going to bring in that piece of watercolor paper and just tape it into my platen here. And I'll just use some pixie tape. And I'm going to get those on there. Now I've got my ink colors are bark and let's see, what's the other brown? I've got 2 colors of brown and 2 blue. We have bark and we have, I can't find, tawny brown. And we have French blue and cosmic sky. And I'm using the tawny brown and the bark for the background panel that I'm creating here. And then I'll use the French blue and the cosmic sky for the die cut pieces that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to bring in my Spellbinders and I'm zooming out so that you can see my machine a little bit better. And I'm just going to do a forward and backward press. You can run it through twice. You only have to run it through once, but you can do twice. And I went ahead and did twice. And so I've got my 1939 laid down there on my panel. And I'm just going to use some of my alcohol and just kind of wipe these off. And then we will get working on the second part of our card, which is the letters that I'm going to die cut. So now I'm going to grab my 8 and my 5, and it doesn't really matter where I lay them out on here because I'm going to die cut them out. I just want to get them far enough apart that I can fit my dies on there and die cut them apart. So I'm just going to use the 2 of the quadrants there, and I'm going to use one of the blues and for one and the other blue for the other. So I'll have a lighter blue and a darker blue, and I thought blue would be great for this card. My dad looks great in blue because he's got these really intense blue eyes. And so I wanted to use the blue. And I think this is a very masculine card with the color schemes that I'm using here. And I think, you could use this set for just any type of card, whether it be masculine, feminine, or just anything. You could do rainbow, you could do all kinds of things. I'm choosing to do kind of a distressed look here. And so I'm going to run my 85 through there. And I think I'll go back. Actually, I just ran it through once. And I've got it pressed. It's not a perfect press. It's got a little bit of distressed look to it. And that's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to clean these off again and get this out of the way. And I've got my elements here. So I'm going to grab my dies, and these dies line up beautifully. You have a nice little white edge around your number if you do it like that. And so I'm going to make sure I get it nice and even on there. And I suppose you could use this outer die to layer it with a different color and then maybe fussy cut your numbers out if you wanted to do that and have that color behind it. But I'm just going to bring in my die cutting machine and we'll get these die cut out. And I'll have my numbers 85 for my dad's 85th birthday. And so these just pop out and they die cut perfectly. And that's basically, that's kind of how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to work on this paper, and we're going to distress it, and we're going to do some different techniques with it. I'm going to bring in the Vintage Photo and my little Vintage Photo blending brush. And I'm just going to blend around here and just add some distressed and some shading to this. And I think it really, really turns out nice with the colors of ink that I chose to use. I'm going to get this mess cleaned up off my desk here. Just using some alcohol again. And then I'm going to cut this panel down because I've got some patterned paper that I'm going to put behind it just to add a little bit of interest. And so I'm going to take 1/4 inch off so that we'll have a little bit peeking out all the way around our numbers. And because I cut it off, I'm going to blend again, just in case I lost some of the blending, and we'll just blend again. And now I'm bringing in some, this is actually Pink and Main paper, and I'm going to use this brown two-tone polka dot pattern. And I'm just going to make an A2 size panel, and we're going to lay our 1939 panel down on this patterned paper here. But before we do that, I'm going to do some further distressing on this. And so I'm going to bring in some of my Distress Oxide sprays, mica sprays, sorry, Distress Mica. I have got the Antique Bronze, and I have also got the Tarnished Brass. And these are both Distress Mica sprays. And if you're familiar with mica, it'll make a nice little sheen on there. And so I'm just going to spray both of these on there. I'm going to blot up any big areas, and it's going to add beautiful shine to this panel. And I'm just taking my heat tool and drying it. You can see it's curled up, and then as I dry, it will flatten out. And so we'll just get this dried up, and then our panel will be ready to work with. I brought in that plastic mat just so I didn't get those mica sprays all over my glass board, and I'm just going to wipe it clean. It's just a silicone mat that I had. And now I'm ready to get working with my panel. And you can see the shine when I was kind of moving it around. I love that shine. I love working with mica sprays, and I just don't do it enough. I should bring them out more often and play with them because they sure are fun. So I'm going to bring in a card base. I need to score one up here, so that's what I'm doing, kind of off camera there. And one of my distressed mica sprays rolled onto the desk there. Just kind of fooling around trying to make some room there so I can work. And I'll get my card base scored up, and we'll get this assembled. And this is really a very basic card. It's fairly simple, but I think it packs a lot of punch. And you can see there's a nice plaid pattern on the back of that polka dot paper. So I'm going to get my panel. I'm just kind of straightening it out. I'll get plenty of glue laid down on there, and we'll just lay this straight down on there. So now we've got our 1939 on there. And we're going to put our 85 on there. And I'm kind of positioning it to where I can still see my other numbers. That's what I was kind of pointing out there. And I've got these thin foam strips, and I'm just going to pop up my 85 with these thin foam strips. And if you take the backer sheet off of them, you can kind of bend them around very easily and put them exactly where you want them. So I just pull the backer strips right off of them and get them laid down on there. And I'm just going to do like one layer. I think it'll be enough. And this card's not going to go through the mail. It'll be given at a birthday party. And so I'm sure that it will be fine with just that much. Plus that watercolor paper is pretty thick that I used. Now this set does have both the 6 and the 9, and the dies appear to be exactly the same. So I was able to use both of them and press everything all at once. But you've got, 0 through 9, and then you've got happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy new year, congratulations, you did it. You've got the RD for third the TH for fifth, the ST for first, and the ND for second. So you can add those. I could have put 85th on this, but I did not choose to do that. But I am bringing in the Happy Birthday Better Press, and I'm going to use that scrap piece there that I used for the my 50, my 80, 85, and we'll just press this Happy Birthday sentiment into it. And I'm going to use the darker brown and just ink up the Happy Birthday and just bring that brown color back in. And we'll give it a press. And get it ready to go. This set also comes with the dies to die cut out your sentiment as well. And I actually used the die from the Bold Numbers, and it was just a straight die to cut it out. But if you actually buy the coordinating dies that go with the bold color mixed numbers, I think it'll cut right around the letters of the sentiments. And you also have, looks like you have dies that go with the rest of the numbers and stuff too, but I don't have that. I just have those outline or the bold numbers. So I use those. So you can check it out and see all the products they have that coordinate with this set. So the Happy Birthday was a little bit longer than what I wanted, so I went ahead and just brought in my Spellbinders guillotine and cut it down. And I'm going to lay it across the 8. And we'll put some foam tape on one side because it's going to hang off a little bit more on one side than the other. And we'll get some glue laid down on there, and we will lay this down. And I was really pleased with how this card turned out. I had some Spellbinders Woodland Tells enamel dots, and I thought they were the perfect color to go with this because they've got that brown, and then they've got like some gold, I don't know, almost glittery looking touches to them. And so I thought they'd look perfect with this. So I'm going to lay some of those down on there, and that'll finish off our card. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.